This is by far the most asked question that I get by any one of over our 3,600 clients that we work with at Marketplace Superheroes. What category do I sell my products in? What category to pick to start off my Amazon business? So if you are just getting started selling on Amazon, or maybe you're just looking for the next best category for you to start finding some suppliers and products in for your Amazon wholesale business, don't worry, I got you here in this video. My name is Mike Sieben, the program lead for the wholesale division of Marketplace Superheroes. I've helped over 3,600 clients get started and get an education around how to create an Amazon wholesale business. I've personally sold over $8 million on the Amazon platform. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the top 3 categories that you can get started on to ensure that you can do the same. Okay, so here on my screen, I have an amazing tool called Smart Scout. If you've never used Smart Scout, I highly recommend that you check it out. I'm gonna have a link for you down in the description that you can use to go get yourself signed up and a sweet little discount. Smart Scout is gonna help us actually use what's called categories and subcategories to be able to determine a key number of factors that are gonna go into this decision. So the first thing I wanna do is clean up these columns. This is the default that you're gonna be looking at whenever you open up this app for the first time. And as you can tell, it is quite messy. So I'm going to show you what columns I would be looking at whenever I'm trying to determine my next category. So a number of different things are selected. So let's take a look at what's going to be the most important. Okay. We need context-free name. Okay. This is going to be the category name, the main category name, right? Estimated monthly revenue. We want to know how much money this makes. Seller revenue share. This is essentially how much revenue do third-party sellers like you and I take of the revenue share versus Amazon. Okay. Amazon revenue share is just another representation of that number. As you can see, 73.6 and 26.5. If you add those together, you get 100%. We only need one of those numbers. We know if we have a high seller revenue share, it's going to be a low Amazon revenue share. So let's get rid of that. Another super cool one is a Chinese seller revenue share, okay? Meaning how many Chinese-based sellers are actually selling their own products in this category. We want to try to avoid those. So we're going to leave that on. Number of brands. This could talk about some opportunity. Average number of sellers. I like this one as well. Average package volume. I don't care how big the packages are. Total ratings count. Not super relevant here. Average ratings count. Again, don't really care. Average rating, let's get rid of it. Estimated monthly units, this could be cool. Let's leave this one in. Number of ASINs, I don't necessarily care how many ASINs. That's not gonna tell me if it's a good or bad category. Every main category is gonna have tons of ASINs. Average page score, no. Average price, don't really care a whole lot for this. And then average age of listing. Let's get rid of that as well. So as you can see, we have significantly cleaned up the data that we're looking at here. Now we can dive in and start making some decisions and looking at these different categories. And so I have it sorted, which is the default here, by the estimated monthly revenue. So what category makes the most amount of money on Amazon? That is actually going to be the home and kitchen niche or category. This is by far the largest. It has the most revenue, has the most number of brands within it, has the highest average number of sellers, and almost the most units sold. Probably third or fourth for most units sold, but certainly we care about those dollars. So home and kitchen, let's dive into this a little bit. What we're gonna be looking for in this context is we want a really high seller revenue share, okay? Really high seller revenue share. We want a really low Chinese seller revenue share, because the more Chinese seller revenue share there is here, the more private label Chinese competitors that you're dealing with, the less brand name, high in demand items, which is what we're looking to sell, products you're able to find. Okay, number of brands. Don't necessarily care. That's probably going to be pretty well correlated to units and revenue, but an interesting statistic to look at. And then average number of sellers. Okay, we want a lot of average number of sellers. We want some competition. We want to see that there is some competition, but we don't want this number to be too crazy. That means super high competition. So ideally, what are we looking at? We want a high monthly revenue. We want a high seller share, low seller revenue share, and we want a mid-range or low average number of sellers. Okay, we don't want too much competition. And then monthly units sold closely correlated, right? So if we dive into this, let's take a look at home and kitchen. The biggest category, really high seller revenue share, relatively high Chinese seller revenue share. So that's going to be a negative for me out of the gates. But we'll go through the rest and we'll see. Number 2, clothing and jewelry. This I'm seeing has an extremely high Chinese seller revenue share. So although it does have a large revenue share, I think we can do better. Okay. Electronics, very large category, really high seller revenue share. Okay. Very low Chinese seller revenue share. That's a huge positive. Good number of brands. Average number of sellers, a mid-range. So electronics is looking really good for us. I'm liking electronics. Health and household, let's look at that. 67.7, 15.5, super low, lowest we've seen. And then a 181 average number of sellers. I'm liking this the best so far. There's not a lot of these Chinese sellers, big brand name items. Okay, we sell lots in health and household. I'm liking that. Books, very low seller revenue. No Chinese sellers though. Very low competition. I don't love that Amazon sells. And of course, Amazon started out as a book platform. That was the origin story of Amazon. It makes sense that they sell over 70% of the books on the platform. So me, myself, I'm not a bookseller. I don't like looking through copious amounts of Amazon dominated listings. So I'm going to pass on books. Beauty and personal care, relatively high seller revenue share, low Chinese seller revenue, mid-range average number of sellers. I like this. Okay, I like this. So health and household, number 1. I think beauty and personal, probably number 2. Let's look at toys and games. Okay, 67, 40, higher Chinese seller rev share. And then really high, tons of competition, toys and games. So I think toys and games aren't going to make the top 3 here. It's not looking great. Tools and home improvement, 77, 46, 95. Okay, we're definitely still looking at health and household and beauty. Tools, close third. Sports outdoors, 75, 37, 30. Okay, not too bad. I'm liking the 75, but health and household still better. And as we work down this list, just to summarize here, there's 32 different major categories. The clear winners on this list for me absolutely have to be grocery and gourmet food, 53%. Yes, almost an equal amount of Amazon, but almost no Chinese sellers and a lower on the competition scale for the average amount of sellers, okay? Grocery and gourmet is looking really nice for me. Everything else has a higher Chinese seller and lower rev share than what we've looked at before. So the clear and distinct winners of this competition are absolutely going to be, for me, health and household products, beauty and personal care, and then it's got to be grocery and gourmet coming in here as well. And so let's take a second and let's look at health and household. What types of products could you be selling in health and household? Because we can get down to subcategories here. This is the beautiful thing. And within it, we can pick the best subcategories as well. So vitamins and dietary supplements, 77%, 2.1%, but super high competition. And I'll tell you, we sell some supplements. It is competitive out there. So although these numbers look good, I would recommend for a newer seller to stay out of this range and stick with something a little bit more friendly. Let's look at sports nutrition, 64%, 0.8%, 164. That's where I'd probably be spending more of my time. Another category like 51%, 11%, 112. That looks really nice as well. So here's some really interesting subcategories within these major categories that you can start niching down to. And then you can go out from here and you can start to find suppliers in these subcategories that can sell you product. So let me know down in the comment section, what is your favorite category that you've seen on the list so far? And what category do you think you would go after if you had to choose another category? So there you have it. This has gotta be the top 3 categories. And I will say for our own business, we have sold a lot in all 3 of the top categories that we chose. If you like this video, make sure that you are smashing that like button. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel if not already as well, so you can get more content just like this video, so we can help you make incredible decisions when it comes to your Amazon business. That's it for this one, and we will see you in the next video.